Hey everyone, my name is Pawan and I welcome you all towards my channel. So guys, today we'll be learning about who is Chief Minister, what are the powers of Chief Ministers in a very simplified manner. But however, if you have not watched my previous video about the powers of Prime Minister, this video will be a little challenging for you because as I said before, the powers and functionalities of the Prime Ministers in the central level is similar towards in the state level, the powers and functions of the Chief Minister. So you should be a little more tricky enough to link towards the dots and study. If you're able to do that, then this video is like a cakewalk for you. So now let's understand what is basically the powers of the Chief Minister. First important thing is that he is the real executive authority of and head of that government. Obviously in the state level, who is the head of the government? It is the Chief Minister, and he is also the real executive authority. Third point is that the governor appoints the Chief Minister when there is a ruling party majority. Obviously in that basis, who appoints the Chief Minister? The governor appoints the Chief Minister. In case if lost confidence, then resigns and dismissal of the post can also happen. For example, if he can also resign, the ways in which how he can come out of his office, but in other ways, in case if he is not able to prove his majority in that particular house, if his party members are not that majority in that particular house, then obviously he should be he'll be moved out of this one post. He'll be removed out of that post, and there can be dissolution, and or even in case there can also be a chance for the coalition, where if, for example, if the BJP and Congress, it's a bad example, Congress and JDS. If I give Karnataka example, when the voting threshold was in same level, both the parties merged together because one party could not become the ruling because they didn't have that kind of threshold of votes. So then both the parties collated together, and then they made their own chief ministers functioning together, and that was the functionalities of what happened in Karnataka long before. But yes, these are the major powers of major functionalities of the Chief Minister. What are the powers and functions of the Chief Minister? See guys, there are 8 important type of powers and functions of the Chief Minister. The point number 1, that is about governor appoints the ministers on the recommendation. For example, he has a say in different kind of council of ministers who they are supposed to be. For example, in state level council of ministers, it could be education minister, health minister, finance minister, or something. Within the state limit, all the names can be suggested by whom? It can be suggested by the chief minister. To whom will he suggest? To the governor, because the governor have that solemn powers. Second important thing is that he allocates and reshuffle the portfolios. He can basically allocate a portfolio. He can also reshuffle that portfolio. That means that, for example, if I am the education minister now, if the chief minister wills, he can change my education portfolio to health minister. That can also be done. Third important thing is that he can ask the ministers to resign. If I am the chief minister, I might ask you to resign. If you are holding any kind of post, I can ask you to resign. Fourth important thing is that he presides the council of ministers. In the council of ministers, who is the supreme authority head? It is actually none other than the chief minister. Fifth important point is that he controls and regulates the aspect of ministers. For example, how ministers are functioning, how they can be done it more better. Tracking performance of the ministers is also being done by the chief minister. Now, the sixth important point is that the main POC between, or the main point of contact between the governor and the state council of ministers is who is the chief minister. Very simple. Now, the seventh important point is that he advises for the appointment. See, governor appoints different people. For example, like advocate general, chairman and members of different state public service commission. All this appointment is done by whom? Governor. And he can suggest and advise certain kind of names to governor. That can also be considered. And the eighth important point which I want to tell is that he is a political head of all kind of services. He is a political head of all services. That is the major component powers of the chief minister. And last important bonus tip is that he is also the head of the crisis management chief, especially during COVID time. Who was the crisis management chief of that particular state? That's the reason all the chief ministers used to constantly give their updates. It's actually the chief minister who is a crisis management chief. So guys, that's all for today's video. Hope you have liked it. If you do like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. And do let me know your views in the comment box. Wishing you all the best. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.